Hi guys, welcome back to Lemphalation. This is Jovita here, and today's video is going to be based on a question that I get asked a lot of times from you guys, which is the things you need to remember before you move for your studies. And one of my viewers, Anush Jain, commented on one of my videos asking me to make a video on this as well, so I thought might as well make this video for you guys. So I'm going to be talking about things you need to remember before you move and after you move. So yeah, if you want to know what these things are, then please keep watching. So I have a list on my phone and I'm going to be reading off of my phone. So I have a list of things that you need to remember before you move. So I'm going to start with that first. So the first thing that I would like to talk about is the basic stuff that you need before you move to a country. So people are usually very confused with what they need to get, what they don't need to get, whether you get to buy stuff once you move or not. So I'd say that before you come, when you're thinking about what you need to pack, think about the weather that you're going to be moving into. So for example, if you're going to be moving to Melbourne, Melbourne has like extreme winters and extreme summers, and then there's this average weather in the middle during spring and autumn. So it depends on which intake you're going to be moving in and what is the weather like. So if it's like too cold in winter time and you haven't really packed any warm clothes, I don't think it's going to be a good idea for you to come to the country and then start shopping for winter clothes. Like you need to have at least a few warm clothes with you. So yeah, just get appropriate clothing, everything that you need. So basically get like casual clothes, get formal clothes, get a traditional outfit. You never know when you might need it. Then when it comes to stationery, people are wondering if they should like get their own stationery or come move to the country and then go shopping and buy their stationery. I don't know why I'm getting stuck at that word, but yeah, stationery. But the stationery here is a bit more expensive compared to back in India. Obviously the stationery in India is so cheap, you get like good quality stuff. So if you can buy like a few books and pens and stuff, get it with you. It will be beneficial, especially for people who love to write and who love to take notes. Get your notebooks, get some pens, get whatever you need with you. And I'm not saying get like the whole shop with you, but get basic stuff with you. And when it comes to utensils as well, now you're going to be moving to a new place. Whether you're moving on campus or whether you're moving off campus, you'd still need to have basic utensils with you. So get like one plate, one bowl, one cup, one glass, spoons, forks, whatever you need. And yeah, at least you will have something with you. So Australian security at the immigration at the airport is going to be very strict with the things you bring in into the country. So they don't let you bring in any fresh fruits, veggies, plants, or any sort of fresh items. And the biosecurity doesn't let people bring that in, and you also might be fined if you do get things without declaring them. So basically, if by chance you're getting something into the country, don't forget to declare it on your immigration card. That is very important. If by chance you don't declare it and you also have got it in your bags and it's not allowed firstly, and if you get it and you haven't declared it, you will be going through obviously different security checks once you finish your immigration. And in that security check, if by chance you get caught, because there are checks where you need to go through a screening, there are checks where dogs can come sniff your bags, there are checks where people can ask you to, where the security officers can ask you to open up your bags and they're going to check what's inside it. So if by chance you haven't declared it and they find something in your bag, you're going to be fined heavily, and it can also affect your visa. So you don't want that to happen. So anything that you're getting in, declare it on your immigration card, which you usually get in the flight by the flight attendants. So the next thing that you might have to keep in mind before you move is just to learn a little bit more about the country or the city and the culture of the people in the space that you're going to be in. Now, not everyone is going to be really comfortable the first time they move. Many people go through culture shock, many people are homesick, and they can't really adjust to the way their surroundings and their environment is, because it's very different from back home. Firstly, because India and Indians are very used to lively atmospheres and being very social and having people around them to get things done or to help them out in whatever they need to. Here everything is do it by yourself, and people are very, very independent. So when people move, they find it so difficult to get used to doing everything by themselves. So just get to know about the culture, get to read stuff about Melbourne, read stuff about your uni, try to understand how the place is. Just get to know basic stuff. You don't have to do like a PhD level research, but just understand the culture before you move. Now the next very important stuff is, a lot of viewers have texted me or DM'd me on Instagram asking about how do you find places to live at if you're not living on campus. That is, for people who want to apply for on-campus accommodations, it goes it gets booked really well in advance. So when I had booked my on-campus, it was in August and I was coming in the February intakes. So basically like 6 to 7 months in advance is when you need to book your on-campus accommodations, because it goes really fast and there are a lot of people who apply for it. So you want to be amongst those few applicants who might get it, because it's on first come first serve basis. But if you're someone who's not going to be living on campus and you want to live outside, maybe like a shared apartment or with your friends or whatever, there are a lot of groups on Facebook that you can find. So depending on which university you're going to, for example, if you're from Monash, so there will be Monash students accommodation or Indian students from Monash accommodation. Just type in these words in the search bar and you will find different groups. And also if you're coming through an agency, so if an agent or a consultant has helped you out before you moved, ask them if they know any other students. I'm sure there are like millions of students who come in the same intake with you, especially from the same agency. So just ask your counselor to let you know if there are any other students. Exchange numbers, go meet them, find out where they're living. If they don't have a place, get in touch with them and start looking out for places. So you can also use websites like Gumtree and Flatmates to find shared accommodation in Melbourne, in the city area or wherever the suburbs that you want to. Yeah, so basically that's what you can do if you haven't found an accommodation yet. And the next thing that you need to remember before you move is go through your units and go through your unit guide, because those things are very important. People usually don't go through their units and they just select units randomly. So for me, I didn't have the choice of choosing any units, so I just had to do a set number of units that the university had already allocated me to. But there are some different fields of studies that let you choose the units that you want to study. So make sure you go through the unit guide. The university has their websites obviously, and you get your student ID and password way before you come here, so you can log into your account, go through the unit guides, read about it, read what they offer, and then select it. Because I've had friends who have selected like core units in the first semester itself. So they've had like 2 core units and it's been too difficult for them and too stressful for them to manage 2 core units in the first sem, because the first time you're coming into the country, you're already quite stressed out. You're taking your time to get used to things, and then if you've got a lot of pressures from uni, you do get stressed out. So try and understand and learn about what your units offer and then choose your units. And also some units have different hurdle requirements. Now hurdle requirements are basically marks that you need to get to pass a certain unit. So there are units that might have a different hurdle requirement for your assignments, a different hurdle requirement for your examinations, and then a total hurdle requirement for the unit overall. So you need to have like those passing marks in each of the specific areas to pass in the overall unit. So go through all of that in the start itself. So this would be like something you do when you just move or when you're just preparing to move. and yeah, you can just go through all of these things and get to know what are the requirements and stuff. And the next thing that you need to keep in mind is just getting to know about O-Week. So this would be something that you do just before you move, or maybe once you move you're already in the phase of O-Week. So O-Week is basically orientation week, which happens in every university. They let you know what your course is going to be offering, who your professors are, who your tutors are, who the lecturers are, I mean, and the do's and don'ts, all of those things. And then they let you tour the university. There are different clubs that you can join, so all that happens in O-Week. So you want to be here, you want to know what's happening, enroll yourself for the ones that you're interested in. There are some events that are paid, there are some events that are unpaid, and it's free for everyone to attend. So just go through what your university is offering during orientation week so that you can go for the events that you want to. Another thing that you would want to do before you come is just to brush up on your skills. So basically your presentation skills, your report writing skills, get an idea of how plagiarism works, what you need to do to avoid getting plagiarized for your work. Just brushing up on basic skills like using Google Drive or Dropbox, or how to use Excel or PowerPoint or whatever it is. Just brush up on those skills because they are very, very important once you move here. So those things actually form a core part of your unit and your degree. So you need to be aware of how you do these things, and yeah, just learn or just brush up on your skills before you come so that you don't waste your time once you move and once you start with your uni. So now moving on to the things you need to remember after you move. So the first thing that you would need to remember is to get a SIM card. Obviously you're not going to forget about it, but still that is one of the things that you need to get once you move. Now you can go to any local service provider store and get your SIM card, but your university would definitely have a service provider store. So just go to your uni, get a SIM card for yourself so that you have a number to be in touch with your family and friends and get updates from the uni as well. The next thing, which is also very, very important, is to get your MyKey card. So if you are in Melbourne, you need to have a PTV MyKey card. This is used on all public transport in Melbourne, so you definitely need to get a MyKey card. MyKey cards are usually available in all basic stores. You might get it even at Coles, you can get it at any local newspaper, magazine shops. You can go to your uni and get it. So yeah, just make sure that you buy yourself a MyKey card, because if you're someone who isn't going to be investing in a car straight away, then you definitely need a MyKey card. You can't travel without a MyKey. Top up your MyKey so that you can touch on and off on any public transport. So that is another thing. So the next very important thing that you need to do is to create a bank account. So you can go to any bank around your area. So there's Commonwealth Bank, there's Westpac, there's ANZ. All of these banks mostly are in the areas around the university. They also have an outlet in the university if you need them, so you can just go create a bank account. So you get a student account for 2 years, so you don't have to pay any additional charges or anything. So once you get your account activated, you can start transferring your money and all of that. So it's easy once you get that out of the way. So get that done as soon as you come. And the next thing which comes related to the bank account is your TFN, which is your tax file number. Now you need to register your TFN and get a tax file number. So if you're going to be working, you need to have a tax file number. Obviously you can't work without a TFN, so get your tax file number. You just have to Google it, how to apply for a tax file number, and you'll get the whole process of how you need to do it. So get that done, and once you get your TFN, you can just start working in any place and get taxed for it, and then you can apply for your tax returns at the end of the financial year. So now the next thing that you would do is basically get familiarized with your university. So for example, if you're going to be studying at Monash's Clayton campus is really huge. You need the map. You actually need the map to move around from one location to another. It's not easy in the start. Like the first few weeks you'll just be so confused because it's such a huge university. So yeah, just download the Monash app so that you have it on your phone and you can access the map and travel around in the university. So just familiarize yourself, walk around, have a tour by yourself and get to know the university a little better. So because I mentioned this Monash app, I realized that there's also a PTV app which you can download on your phone. So this is an app basically which will let you know which public transport would reach you to a specific location if you need to. So you just have to put in your location and the location that you want to travel to. So then they'll show you the route and whether you need to take a bus or a train or a tram, whatever it is, and from which location. So it's a very handy app. So if you can just download the PTV and the Monash app on your phones. The next thing that you need to remember is, especially in the first semester, it's not going to be that useful to you, but second semester onwards, there's something known as Allocate Plus, especially in Monash University. I'm not aware if the other universities do have it. So it's basically allocating yourself for your units that you have selected. So you make your own timetable basically. That's what Allocate Plus is. So you get to go onto this website and you get to choose each unit, and each unit will have different time slots, different lecturers and tutors who will be teaching you about that unit. So you go in and choose which timing is preferable to you, and you allocate yourself to that unit, to that specific timing. So you create your own timetable and schedule for your semester, and this thing as well happens on a first come first serve basis. So so the next thing you would want to do once you move is to just be proactive and get to know people around you, talk to your classmates, talk to your professors, your lecturers, your tutors, just network with people so that you get an idea of how things work basically. So yeah, just be proactive, get to know people. If you're going to be working in Australia, you only get to work for 20 hours weekly on student visa. You can't exceed 20 hours, because if you do, then later on whilst you go to apply for your TR or your PR, it's going to cause a lot of problems. So stick to 20 hours or 40 hours fortnightly, don't exceed it. And there are jobs that give you payment cash in hand, which mostly students go for, but try and understand that if by chance, if you do get caught doing these jobs, it can affect your career. So that is a choice that you would be making for yourself. But there are jobs that pay you cash in hand, and they do exploit students because they don't pay you as per the wage rates. So just be aware of what the wage rate is on the Fair Works website. So you can just go to the Fair Works Australian website and find out what exactly your payment should be based on the job that you're doing. So you get an idea of whether you're getting paid adequately or not. So yeah, just don't get exploited. Be aware of what. Always try to do a TFN job so that you have like a record of how much you have worked, where you've been working for the past years. You'll have like your pay slips and all of that. So try and work on a TFN job. The next thing that is a very important thing you need to remember is international students on and off get scammed a lot in this country. So I've had a lot of friends who have got calls from random numbers, and the person on the call pretends to be an officer from the Australian taxation office, and they try to scare you and threaten you that you need to pay a certain amount, or the police is going to come arrest you because you have exceeded your hours of working, and you've got tax that hasn't been paid, and all of this bullshit. So there are a lot of scams that happen to international students, and some people fall prey to it and lose a lot of money in it. So please be aware of whom you're talking to and why you're talking to them. Firstly, don't answer any unknown numbers, any blocked numbers. Just don't answer it. And if by chance you get a call and you've answered it, be sure that this is not the actual ATO or anyone else that's calling you. So if someone calls you and says that they're from the ATO, just cut the call and get the ATO's number from Google and call them back to find out if this is true or not. So just double check. Don't just get stressed out, because that is our initial reaction. You just get really worried and nervous about what you need to do at that moment, but just try and stay calm and think practically. So that is another thing you need to keep in mind once you move. And there are a lot of people who also asked me of where you can find jobs. So you can look up for casual jobs like jobs in hospitality, sales, marketing, whatever on Gumtree. There are a lot of jobs that come up on Gumtree, and you can also use other websites like Indeed and Seek, where you can look out for jobs in your field. So yeah, those are like the few websites that you can use to look up for jobs. So the last thing that I'd like to talk to you about is when you move into your accommodation, whether it's an on or off campus accommodation, if it's an unfurnished house or a room, you would want to buy furniture from some place. So people are not really sure initially where they could buy some things from. So obviously you have stores like Kmart and Target which have really good and cheap stuff which you can use to go and buy your home decor or anything related to that. There is also IKEA, which is one of the home decor stores which is really good. It's cheap and you also get everything that you need in IKEA. And if, for example, you're someone who doesn't want to spend too much and you want to buy second-hand stuff, you can use the Facebook Marketplace. You can put in your location, you can put in the items you're looking for, and you'll get a lot of options, and they are very reliable sources. So you can get in touch with the sellers, get to know how much they're going to sell it for, whether they'll deliver it to your home or not. And yeah, you can buy second-hand stuff off of Marketplace. And on Marketplace you can also find different warehouses which sell beds and mattresses and anything, any home, any furnitures that you need for your house at really cheap prices. So you can even go and pick up your own furniture from there. And Gumtree is another place where you can get second-hand stuff. So Gumtree is basically a very good, helpful website for anybody who needs accommodation, jobs, buying or selling of stuff and things like that. So that was it. That was all that I had to share for today's video, and I hope that I've covered everything that I thought of and everything that I wanted to share with you guys. I hope it was helpful. I know this video would have been a little longer than expected, but I just wanted to cover all the topics that I had in mind so that it can help out anyone who's watching. And if this video was helpful and if you liked watching it, then don't forget to give this video a big fat thumbs up. Leave me your comments down below as to what kind of videos you'd like to watch next, and I would love to make those videos for you guys. Also, don't forget to subscribe to my channel because I do make videos that you guys request me for, and yeah, I try to be regular, which is another struggle, but I will get there. And yeah, just click the bell icon next to the subscribe button to get notified every time I upload a new video. And that was it for today. I hope to see you guys in my next one. Until then, peace and love. Bye.
There's a mountain top that I'm dreaming of. If you need me, you know where I'll be.